Hari Om, Namaste everyone. Yes, welcome. I am just figuring out. Oh, I've forgotten how we go live on Facebook. Uh, okay, welcome everyone, and everybody I think has to mute themselves. If someone can post on my timeline on Facebook, I'm not able to go live there. So please do that so that it is easy to someone else.
So just posting the link.
I posted the link so people can join, but I also said I'll go live on Facebook, but I can't go because there is
I
some
could do that.
setting change.
I just
So I'll start the class today because
hello. Rika, you have to go. I have to first post this for detail.
you have to mute yourself also. All right, so we'll just start the class. So yes, welcome everyone once again, and I'm starting. Hari Om. Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Can someone chant?
Can I?
Yes.
From which verse?
30 to 33.
30 to 33. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Tritiyodhyayaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Mai Sarvani Karmani Sanyasyadyatma Chetasa Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutva Yudhyasva Vigatajvaraha Ye me matamidam nityam Anutishtanti manavaha Shraddhavanto nasuyantaha Muchyante tepi karmavihi Ye tve tadabhyasuyantaha Nanutishtanti me matam Sarvajnana vimudhamstan Vidhi nashtana chetasaha. 33 also?
Yeah.
Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha Prakrite jnanavana api Prakritim yanti bhutani Nigraha kim karishyati.
Yes, thank you very much. So, continuing from yesterday, we were seeing verse number 31, highlighting the importance of Shraddha. Shraddha and Vivek are two pedals on the, are all two pedals, let's put it this way, of a bicycle. They help each other. Shraddha without thinking, one's own thinking, is ineffective, is a obstacle in fact. And a Viveka Shakti without, no, I was to record, sorry, I forgot. Thank you for reminding.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. So, Shraddha without Vivek is blind. Shraddha is a lubricant, is necessary, as we have seen in the Bhashyams yesterday. Being one of the Shamadhi Shatakams, Shraddha means a capacity to have a faith, Vishwas, in a faith, a Vishwas in the experience of what the Shastras are saying. And it may not be my present experience yet, but my buddhi can appreciate that experience. My buddhi is able to recognize its validity. समझ में ठीक लग रही है, लेकिन मेरे अनुभव में वो जरूरी नहीं है कि अभी है. At such times, having faith in the words of the Shastra, and Shastras always say, because Shastras are mute unless until they get a voice, and that voice is Acharya. As long as Acharya is presenting the Shastra, there is the connection that forms with the knowledge, and what the knowledge is talking about one's own inner state. That the learner has the acceptance of it filtered through their own Vivek Shakti. उन्हें पहले लगना चाहिए कि ये ठीक लग रहा है. अगर उनकी बुद्धि को ये बात ठीक नहीं लगे, कुछ भी बात, then they don't have to follow it. If your buddhi feels it is all, just as yesterday we said, if someone says, fall in the well and you will get money. Now, people will believe it. People believe all kinds of things. We know so many paramparas, you can say. So many paramparas. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, so many paramparas that are thriving in the society only based on blind belief. This Shastra says is not accepted. Blind belief is not accepted. So what should you have? Shraddha. And that Shraddha means my capacity to be able to follow, intellectually appreciate, and have the faith that this, my perseverance in it, will also give me the phalam, or will also give me the prayojanam that Shastra Drishti is giving to us. That is what is Shraddha. And there are acharyas who have said in the past that this Shraddha is a quality which human beings are all born with. We are a huge reservoir of Shraddha. For example, the examples we were given is, even if you travel from one place to another and you have hired a driver for a day, how do you know that this driver is trusted? You can trust the driver. How do you know that this driver will take you to the destination? How will you know that the food served to you in a restaurant is not poisoned? How do you know that anything and everything? Shraddha actually is a big part of Vyavaharik life. Call it trust, call it faith, but you cannot have a sane mind. You have to rely on someone or the other based on certain facts, and you have to leave what is unknown but yet accept it. That Shraddha, he says, the one who has is the one who will be able to receive the knowledge. Questioning is not tabooed. Question the knowledge. But your question must be Shraddha based, which means exactly as Arjuna is asking Krishna. He's saying, I do not know what is good for me and right for me. I have got confused. You tell me, you guide me. What should I be doing? Now he's asking questions throughout the Gita. But those questions are with an idea. Shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapatyam. I am taking resort in you. I am taking my refuge in you, with this idea that if I ask a question, my intention is, my bhav is to understand better so that I can follow better. So he said, Shraddha vantaha, Shraddha jiske paas hai, Shraddhavan, the one who has Shraddha. Anasuyantaha, the one who doesn't cavil. Jarasandh was one big caviller of Krishna. There are other characters also. Throughout Mahabharata, you find they were easy to pick up flaws in Krishna. Also, that nature in us, जहां पे गलत है उसको गलत देखना is wisdom. पर जहां गलत नहीं है वहां गलत देखना, that is called asuya, that quality where you project a negativity, you project a flaw where there is no flaw. That means it is my own aviveka shakti, it is my own avidya, it is my own gunas, it is my own prakriti, which is actually manifested. And those flaws that I'm projecting on others, on whoever it be, those flaws are actually my own non acceptance of my own flaw. So he says, these two qualities, whoever has, and they are anutishtanti, they are able to follow this matam of mine, which is nityam, which is always there, which is what has been laid out as a way to one's growth, as a way to one's मोक्ष. वो जो मार्ग ऑलरेडी सेट हो चुका है in creation, those who can follow it, and that is कर्म योग for your inner purification. जो इसका नित्य अनुष्ठान करता है constantly, वो भी, they also get freed of karmas. Muchyante te api karma bhihi. They are freed of all karmas. Now in the 32nd verse, he's showing us the opposite. Tu, ye tu. That tu means other than the previous one. Differentiating it from the previous one. Previous one is 31st verse. Differentiating it from that, ye tu etat apyasuyantaha. But the ones who are always finding flaws in the Vedic system of life, which Krishna is now explaining to Arjuna, the ones who are finding those flaws, na anutishtanti me matam, and they do not follow my laws that I have laid out. Who are they? Sarva jnana vimudhaha tan. Sarva jnana vimudhaha. They are completely deluded from all knowledge. Sarva jnana. From all kinds of knowledge. From all knowledge, they are deluded. Tan vidhi. Know them. Tan is them. Vidhi. Know. Jano unko. कैसे? नष्टान अचेतसः. Know them to be ones who have destroyed their own self. Nashtan achetasah. They are ones who have no viveka, they have no purusharth, they are deluded from all kinds of knowledge. The details our Bhashyam will give us. They are deluded from all sorts of knowledge and know them to be destroyed. So just at the level of simple understanding, 31st and 32nd verse are showing the two contrasts. One of a person who has sraddha in the Shastra Vidya, sraddha in the Vakyam of Guru, Acharya, Shastra, Vihita, Gyan. That Gyan, following it, they are freed of all karmas, which means ultimately they get Chitta Shuddhi, and finally they arrive at the inner Garbhagraha. Now, what is the most innermost sanctum of a temple called? Where the idol is kept in a temple, in a traditional temple.
Shrine.
Shrine, okay.
It's
Then
called a Garbhagudi.
Garbhagudi, it is a uh, Garbhagraha. Means Garbhagudi, Garbhagriha. Okay. That Garbhagudi is dark inside. Where the idol is really kept is dark inside. They don't have, now it's different, but traditionally built, it had layers of verandas, call them, for parikrama. You would go parikrama and then you keep coming into an inner and inner sanctum. And the innermost sanctum is the smallest sanctum where the deity is worshipped and is in dark, kept in dark. Even Tirupati or Vaishna Devi, if you see Vaishna Devi, those who have gone in north, it's Vaishna Devi. In south, you see Tirupati temple. It's beautiful to see how you would cross certain difficulties to come to that cave. And in that cave, there's this little small idol, and it's kept in dark. Those in the olden times were visited, and now if you see, you would see a big contrast between them. Now they have artificial lights. But the idea was that you have to take a little time to adjust your eyes in the dark. And by adjusting the eyes, suddenly that idol reveals itself, or in the light of the lamp, it reveals itself. The lamp that is lit there, the idol reveals itself. What is that lamp? That lamp which is oiled, that lamp is your yes, that lamp, I'll have to keep this also, I think. I'm sorry. That lamp is your knowledge. And what is the oil of that lamp? Shraddha. That oil is Shraddha. That oil is ac- Shraddha actually, because from Shraddha comes your bhakti. From Shraddha comes that devotion. So that oiled light, oiled Shraddha, Shraddha based knowledge, that knowledge, he says, that seeing that inner sanctum, the deity now, means having Atma Darshan. That means what? In the next verse, he's going to talk of the samshaya that we have. Who will do asuya? Who will have that flaw? Who has samshaya? Who has doubts? Who doesn't accept this? Even if you understand, either there is ahankar or there is this jiva bhav which is prominent in bhoga, and they don't want to accept that the jivan is, what is your life for? What is your human birth for? What is the prayojan of this? What is it at death? What is it on birth? All those subtle things that should be inquired also in life, along with all other inquiries that we have, which help us conduct our daily life. There should also be these inquiries which pertain to our existence, and that from outside to inside. When I see myself in the world, when I see myself around, I don't see, I see myself separate from them. I don't see oneness easily. Intellectually, also, I cannot appreciate oneness because my ragadvesh interferes. But with the light of Shraddha, when it is there, Shastra Shravanam is there, that Shravanam slowly takes us inside. And as we said before, Krishna is saying, offer your karmas to me. Who's that me? Antaryami. Like we said yesterday, we took one example, offering it to him. That beginning the process of Karam Yoga. A lot of us may already be doing it. We may not know it. But when you do not know and you restart that process, supposing you've not never known this, and as we said, you are generalizing karmas, but now you are beginning to specialize the karmas. When you start specializing the karmas, you are seeing antaryami. This is offered to the antaryami as when I'm having as a bhokta, this Bhagwan is here. When I'm doing karma, my Shakti is from here, from Bhagwan itself, from Ishvara itself. That Shakti is enabling me to do something. When I am doing some work for someone, any work, pick up anything else. Yesterday we said cooking, pick up anything else. Any work. If we manage to do after finishing the chapter revision, if we do, I do not know at this stage what's happening, but if we do, we'll think about the examples you would like to have. There is enough time at the moment. Start thinking about the examples that you would like to see being converted into Karma Yoga. So that Shraddha based knowledge, when one starts to receive, it brings one inward. Or wo jo antaryami baitha hai, which today very casually we may comment as consciousness, pure awareness. And in meditation, when you are quiet by yourself, you have a certain peace of your mind, you say, okay, this, a relative quietude of the absence of mind can, of absence of thoughts can give me so much peace. Then what are we talking about? Knowing oneself, who is the substratum of all the thoughts. Karma muchyante. This is too fast. I am not prepared for this. The meeting is ending in 10 minutes. It's giving me a thing. We will reconnect, please. Okay, once this meeting ends. Is that okay, everyone?
Yes, Deepti
Yes.
Yeah. Only for
Same ID.
yeah, same. Everything's same.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so Shraddha is something that brings a journey from outwardness within. Yeah? It brings us within. That he's saying, one who has gets freed of the cycle of karma. How is that cycle of karma sustained? By kartritvam, by ahankar. That cycle which is ever there, that gets, you get freed of it. In Karam Yoga, there is relative freedom. I just mentioned, if one is meditating and one has that relative peace, Karam Yoga is like open-eyed meditation. A peace in throughout. You may be in the midst of activity. You will be in the midst of thick of life, as they say. You will be in the thick of life, and yet inwardly you will be shant. You will be peaceful. Doesn't mean you are not talking, doesn't, but your antakaranam is in that state of mind which is ready to receive knowledge, even if you are in an active mode of life. So he says here, this Shraddhavantaha gets freed, but on the contrast is what? Contrast is those who do not have Shraddha. For anything you say, they will have a counter question. But why? But why? But why? You know. So till you answer, no. So why? Etc. This, he says here in the 32 verse, there's not much that Shankara has added except for certain words, meaning that he gives. Ye tu tad viparitaha, the opposite of the 31st verse. Etat, these, me matam, me mama matam, in these my words, abhyasuyantaha. And who's abhyasuyantaha? Nindantaha, the ones who do ninda, you know, criticism, just for the heck of it, जो निंदा करते हैं, न अनुतिष्ठन्ति, न अनुवर्तन्ते, They do not follow. Me matam, my words, my advice, my words. What will be their outcome? Sarveshu Gyaneshu, all kinds of knowledge, from all knowledges. Vividham Mudhaha, they are deluded in various ways. This Vividham word Madhusudan ji is going to elaborate. What do we mean by deluded in various ways? Deluded from all kinds of knowledge. What do we mean by that? He'll explain. So when we come to that, we'll take it up. Sarveshu Gyaneshu, from all knowledges, means vividham, various kinds of knowledges. What are those various kinds of knowledges? We are coming to the next portion. Mudhaha, these who are not following Shastra Drishti for their Shanti and not following his words, they are Mudhaha. They, those, Sarva Jnana Vimudhaha, they are completely deluded from all knowledge. Tan, know them. Vidhi, know. Janihi, know them. Nashtan, what is Nashtan? Nasham Gatan. जिनका जिनकी those who have gone to destruction, नाश को गए, नाश को जा रहे हैं, गतान, they are going towards their destruction. Acetasaha, avivekinaha, they are non-thinkers. They are, when we say they are non-thinkers, what do we mean? Non-thinkers means
They are not using their Vivek Shakti.
So they are, in other words,
Sansari.
Hanji?
Sansari.
So they are going with their ragadvesh. They are the ones who are generalizing their actions. They are aviveki. Now to the same one he says, tu shabdaha shraddha vaidharmyam ashraddham suchayati. So what was the verse? Ye tu etat. So what is that tu word indicating? Shraddha ka vaidharmya. Vaidharmya means opposite of Shraddha. What would it mean? Ashraddha. So Shraddha में जो हो रहा है उसका opposite means ashraddha suchayati. So tu word means the one who has ashraddha. Tena ye nastikyat. They are nastik. If you remember the very beginning classes, our Vedic parampara has two main first classifications, astik and nastik. Who are nastik and who are astik? The very basic first fundamental. Astik means, in English we say they are atheists and theists. But who are the atheists and theists according to Vedic parampara? Who is an astik and who is a nastik? Anyone remembers? Who's an astik?
I think who believe in the teachings of Vedas.
Astik is one who believes in the Vedas and the teachings of the Vedas. Nastik is one who rejects the Vedas. So we saw certain paramparas, certain religions like Charvaka is a completely different group. Buddhism, Jainism, these are all Nastik. They reject the Vedas completely. Now, those, they are Nastik. Means what? They are ashraddhanaha. They are endowed with ashraddha in the Vedas. Therefore, abhyasuyantaha. And what is abhyasuyantaha? Dosham udbhavayantaha. Etat mama matam na anuvartante. Because they are dosh udbhavayantaha. This word is little different. Udbhavayantaha means you are creating flaws where there are none. So I said they are projecting the flaws where there are none. He says they are creating the flaws where there are none. जहां नहीं है वहां पे दोष बता रहे हैं, अपने आप ही क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड उद्भावयन्तः. एतत् मम मतं न अनुवर्तन्ते. They will obviously not follow my matam. Tan achetasah. Who are these achetasah? Madhusudan ji uses a good word. Dushta chitta. Chittan. Dushta chittan. जिनका चित्त दुष्ट है. What is दुष्ट? दुष्ट means दुरिष्ट, not desirable. उसको दुष्ट कहते हैं. Means okay, like you said yesterday, you can use the word negative in a very general way. Means they are manipulatively, aggressively, manipulatively projecting things. Dushta chittan. Ata eva sarva jnana vimudhan. Because of which they are deluded from all knowledge. And what do we, because of it, sarvatra karmani brahmani, what do we mean by all knowledge? In everything, everywhere they have this cavilling attitude, they have this critical attitude, they have this finding flaws in everything, in karmas, in upasanas, sagunam, nirgunam, in Brahman, in everything they will say it can't be any, etc. Cha yat jnanam tatra vividham pramanatah. We've just paused because we're reconnecting on this. I will just wait for everyone to connect. I do not know how this works though, still figuring out. There's so much to learn always. Non-essentials to
Will
learn.
we be doing it on Zoom now?
I'm still have today afternoon only they finally said actually what has happened is the program with which we were running our classes, they are abolishing that program. I think because now there's no COVID, so I guess therefore we have to now what they want us to subscribe to is a very high end. We don't need that. We are not so
Google
many.
Meets. Try Google Meets.
I'm going to explore that.
Shruti ji is also taking classes.
I will
on
explore
Zoom.
that. I will explore that. It should meet certain conditions also. So I'll explore. I've never done that. So I'll have to explore. It'll take some time to explore all these various, whatever are left now.
Zoom only has this 45 minutes thing. Otherwise, it's good. Only that 45 minutes.
Otherwise, no, I think if we subscribe to it, we can get a full time with it. So I'll have to figure out. Zoom meeting, you can record? Oh, anyway, this is still live on YouTube, so we'll
somebody's
talk later.
recording.
I think we'll talk later. It is still, so let us just continue with the class. I wish I could make someone we'll just quickly start the share. The blue jeans had share up, this has share down. See how habits tie us down. Oh, okay, that was sharing that. Now, you can see this? Yeah, I think you can.
Yes, Dipti.
So I'll just continue as people keep joining back. Yeah. So, achetasaha is where we are. Dushta chittan ata eva sarva jnana vimudhan sarvatra karmani brahmani sagune nirgune cha yat jnanam tatra vividam pramanataha prameyataha prayojanataha cha. This is the words that I wanted to elaborate on. When they say that they are completely confused, they're completely deluded, that they are completely lost is the right word. That they are lost. They don't have direction, which means सर्व ज्ञान से विमूढ़ हैं. What is that sarva gyan? All kinds of knowledge. First, we know there are these three things for any knowledge interaction to take place. What are the three things? Pramana, prameya, actually pramata also, but here prayojan. So pramana, prameya, prayojan. They are deluded with all three. Pramana means what? What is that knowledge for what? इस ज्ञान से मुझे क्या मिलेगा? कौन सा ज्ञान किसके लिए है? ओ ये रिकॉर्डिंग. Where did I discover the recording button before? Here. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Though I don't know how useful this recording is going to be in parts and pieces, but let's see. So, from all kinds of knowledges, they are deluded. Praman kya hai? Means what knowledge is going to give you what? इस ज्ञान से क्या विषय है? इस ज्ञान का विषय क्या है? They are confused about that. Like for example, supposing you have some problem with your stomach, but you go to a neurologist, no? Which means I am deluded with the praman. I'm deluded at the level that I do not know मुझे किस कौन सा branch of knowledge के पास जाना है for a particular ailment. In the same way, I am not aware of the fact कि what am I suffering from? What is samsara going to be handled by? What is it that I am actually in need of? Praman kya hai? Means, as we said, they'll believe, people are ready to believe in all kinds of floating anadharit gyan. Anadharit. कोई भी कुछ कह ले, you just have to be presenting differently. You know, lambe baal kar do, khol lo. Give a different physical presence to your own self and project. Go on projecting yourself as a noble, and then you'll be accepted. It's exactly like how you can have a social media presence. How do you multiply your followers? पहले media followers नहीं थे, पहले direct followers थे. But the technique is the same. Just accepting it on that. So, praman nahi pata ki what am I first suffering from? What is my search for? What is it that I'm looking for? ये जो शास्त्र विद्या है, ये किस विषय की विद्या है? People are confused about that. And the ones who do not have shraddha and they are ready to pick flaws at the drop of the hat, they are completely deluded. What does this deal with? इसका विषय क्या है? And if you say आत्मा इसका विषय है, आत्मज्ञान ये विषय है, they are totally lost क्योंकि आत्मा क्या है, आत्मज्ञान क्या है, they have nothing at all. They don't know anything. So praman se they are confused. Prameya se they are confused means how is it, what do I get, what is this topic is the prameya, what is the means is the praman, what is it that I will get out of it is the prayojan. They are confused in every way. They are confused. Moodhan sarva prakarena. From every way they are confused. Ayogya. Ayogya. Nashtan sarva purushartha brashtan. They are ayogya for this path. They become ayogya. They become ayogya. What is the cause of them becoming ayogya? What is the cause of becoming?
Not believing.
Hanji?
Not believing. Not believing. Shraddha.
Shraddha and
Raga dvesh.
Flaw ढूंढते हैं.
flaw ढूंढते. The
Asuya.
context, because it's a previous verse, the context is the previous verse, asuya. Because of these two things, what are they? Ayogya. बहुत बड़ा clarity है ये. It's very easy to say have Shraddha and don't cavil. A lot of people have, when you're growing up, and if you have some exposure, your parents will always tell you, or your adults in your environment tell you, औरों की बुराई मत करो. Especially if there is somebody you do not know and they present themselves as a guru or as a sadhu or following the spiritual path, you know nothing about them. Since you do not know anything about them, do not comment on them. Stay away if you want to, but don't comment on them. Means what? आपके अंदर वो आना नहीं चाहिए कि आप बिना जाने, बिना समझे आप बुराइयां ढूंढो इसको लेके, इस शास्त्र को लेके. Therefore, उससे क्यों क्यों? बिकॉज इसमें आपकी अयोग्यता बन जाएगी. यू विल बी द वन हु इज गोइंग टू बिकम डिस्क्वालिफाइड. अयोग्य, आप योग्य नहीं रह जाओगे इस ज्ञान के, इस मार्ग के. आपकी योग्यता ही नहीं बनेगी. Therefore, अयोग्य नष्टान. And what is that nashtan meaning? Sarva purushartha brashtan. From all purusharth आप भटक जाओगे. From all kinds of brashtan, you will be deluded. आपका रास्ता बदल जाएगा. You will be brushed हो जाओगे. You will be lost in samsar. Sorry? Purusharth is, what are the 4 purusharths?
The Dhamma, sorry.
जी.
Shama Dhamma.
हाँ, no, not Shama Dhamma. अजय जी आप कह रहे थे शायद. What are the 4 purusharthas?
Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha.
हाँ, Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. Yes, Bhavna. Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. These 4 purusharths is, from all purusharth you will be ayogya. Means आप अर्थ के भी, you won't be eligible even to earn. You will lose your eligibility even to pursue pleasures. धर्म का तो आप हो ही जाओगे भ्रष्ट. आपकी बुद्धि में ही धर्म क्या है नहीं समझ में आएगा. You will be lost from the sense of what is right and what is wrong, and you will be led away into the realm of samsara. Therefore, know them to be destroyed. And what does it mean to be destroyed? Sarva purushartha brashtam. That is what it means to be nashtan. उसके पुरुषार्थ की कैपेसिटी ही नष्ट हो जाएगी. सब पुरुषार्थों की कैपेसिटी नष्ट हो जाएगी. That is what he means. Now a very simple question here is asked. Projects, Shankara projects, and Madhusudan ji explains it further. Ki if it is so valuable for everyone to follow the Shastra Vidya, इतना important है, इतना जरूरी है अगर सबके लिए, then why do people cavil? Why do people find flaws? Why are people not pursuing it? Why do people not pursue this when, as you say, it is so important for people? आपकी योग्यता बनती है, आप कर्मों से मुक्त हो जाओगे, etc. अगर इतना फायदा है इसका, तो फिर why is everyone not following it? So that sambandha he gives here, Nanu, means somebody can raise a thought. Ragnya iva tava shasana atikrame bhayam pashyantah, means like a king who rules, and if you break those rules, we see fear. People have fear against breaking the rules because you will be punished by the king. Then, in the same way, katham, how come? Asuyantaha. How come people will criticize this tavamatam, your knowledge that you've laid out, na anuvartante, and not follow? Katham va sarva purushartha sadhane pratikula bhavanti. How come people will take to those measures that are pratikul, that are actually an obstacle for the means to get purusharth accomplished. Sarva purushartha sadhan, uska pratikul. How come they are not following it? If it is so. Okay. Here Shankara says same thing. Tasmat punaha karanat tvatiyam matam na anutashtanti paradharman anutishtanti. How come again? Then what is that reason why they will not follow what you are laying out? And what is he laying out? अपने कर्मों को मुझे अर्पित करो. अपने कर्मों को जब अर्पित करोगे मुझको, फल से आसक्ति छोड़ दो. And that is all you have to do. बस यही दो करना है आपको. दो में भी एक ही है. अगर आप कर्म को अर्पित करोगे तो फल अपने आप प्रसाद लोगे आप. इनमें से एक भी कर लोगे तो दूसरा साथ साथ होएगा. आपको बस इतना करना है. तो हाउ कम पीपल डू नॉट फॉलो इट, लीविंग दैट paradharman anutishtanti. They start following what is not their duties. Swadharmam cha anuvartante tvat pratikulaha. And what is absolutely against their own nature, their what they ought to be doing. Katham na bibhyati. How come they don't get fear out of it? By not following your tvat ichha. Tvat ichhasan atikrama doshat. आपकी इच्छा को ट्रांसेंड करना, अतिक्रमा, by neglecting it, by not following it, by negating it. अतिक्रम करना, by overruling it is the right word. By overruling it, by overriding it. उसका जो दोष है उससे वो डरते क्यों नहीं? Why are people not scared of the outcome of not following कर्म योग? That's the question. Very interesting question, no? मतलब अगर हमें डर लगेगा कि अरे गलत करेंगे तो हम गलत रास्ते जा रहे हैं, उसका अगर हमें डर लगेगा, then only we can save ourselves. We'll be following what we have to. But अगर डर क्यों नहीं लगता इन चीजों से? Now starts a very important again portion concluding Karam Yoga, but he's highlighting why is it that we are ready to transgress the niyamas that Shastra has laid out, and हम अपनी मर्जी से, अपने राग द्वेष से, अपने अहंकार से हम क्यों प्रेरित होके कर्म करते हैं और ना तू मीन्स ना अपनी ड्यूटी पे, क्योंकि हमें डर नहीं है. क्यों डर नहीं है? And that he says in the 33rd verse. Can you please chant twice? Tuji?
Yes, Guruji. Sadrishim cheshtate swasyaha prakriti jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Sadrishim cheshtate swasyaha prakriti jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati.
Let's take the bhashyam straight away. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha. Here the word cheshta. Let's understand the word cheshta first. People, how would you translate the word cheshta? For most people, how do you translate it? चेष्टा किसे कहते हैं?
कोशिश करना.
कोशिश करना. Yes. What else? Effort. Okay. What else? चेष्टा. effort generally. Okay. Cheshta,
Try,
endeavor.
try, मतलब तुमने ये चेष्टा कैसे की?
Trying, endeavor.
Something
Okay.
like
Effort towards what one desires, willing to do something. Okay, right? Cheshta is, very carefully understand, then we'll understand the verse very well. चेष्टा इज कर्म करने के पहले वाली स्थिति. Correct. Willing to do something. Just before you are doing something, what happens within? You have to see that. What will happen within? स्वाभाविक जो हमारे प्रवृत्ति बनती है, स्वाभाविक अपने आप, without anyone prompting, without anyone telling us to do anything, अपने आप हम किस तरफ प्रवृत्त होते हैं, अपने आप चेष्टा उसको कहते हैं. एंड देन वहां से फिर कर्म बनता है. एन एग्जाम्पल इज, इफ यू see any, give any work to two people, same work to two people. When you give to two people, same work, give to two people, what will make the difference? Cheshta. What will make the difference of the karma will be their cheshta. And what is that cheshta? अपने अंदर हमारा एक अपना, call it spontaneity. There is a spontaneous expression. There is a spontaneous expression which one is finding yourself with, in which you have put no effort. अपने आप. As a child, if someone, two children, give them chocolate, both of them, they're siblings. Very likely both children can have different responses when they're very, very young. Likely they can have different responses. They can have different responses. वो different responses कहाँ से आ रहे हैं?
Is it a tendency?
हाँ.
Then you
can, but tendency, you can actually, you can use the word tendency. Swabhavik is the, absolutely, it is naturally there. It's spontaneously हमारे अंदर से निकलता है, जो पहली चीज निकलती है. किसी ने हमें बताया नहीं, कोई हमें कह नहीं रहा. You give two works to two different people, they will do it two different ways. अपने आप अलग तरीके से करेंगे. Yeah? I'll tell someone, on a piece of paper, draw columns. Is it likely that we'll get the same columns? आपकी चेष्टा. And ये चेष्टा कहाँ से आ रही है? That spontaneity of our own expression, of our own being. Who I am, what I think, what he called before as gunas of Prakriti. What is our gunas? What is our प्रकृति में बने हुए हमारे अपने एक natural inclination? How did we pick up our subjects? If anybody is discerning, when you go to career counselors, when you're in 7th and 8th standard classes and you have to pick up a profession for yourself or career, or have to think about what to do, anybody notice that where do you draw your attention? What occupies your attention more? क्या naturally आता है आपको? Are you analytical? Are you artistic? Are you by nature musical? What are your qualities? ये होती है जहां स्वाभाविक चेष्टा होती है, वो चेष्टा फिर कर्म में बदलती है. Without that चेष्टा, and in fact, कर्म सबके अलग अलग है क्योंकि सबकी चेष्टा अलग है. That is defining what is cheshta. When we in English we would say intention, motivation, you use 100 words, but cheshta is very specific. Based on your cheshta, he says here, very important thing he's saying, satrisham cheshtate swasyaha. Keeping keeping in mind that the one who knows has knowledge, and the one who doesn't have knowledge. सदृशम चेष्टता स्वस्याः, अपने आप से चेष्टा सबकी है. ज्ञानवान अपि, even the one who has knowledge. Where is that अपने आप चेष्टा जो निकलती है? प्रकृतेः. It comes from one's own prakriti. Where have you got this prakriti from? From your past cheshta. And it almost looks as if it is cyclically backwards. Piche, piche, piche. When did I put my first cheshta? No, that's not the question. It's out of avidya. That today my nature is what it is a product of my past guna karma में जो व्यवहार हुआ है, उसमें जो मैंने चेष्टा अपनी डेवलप की है, that has brought in a momentum in this life, and I am with a certain set of gunas, and I incline myself, those tendencies you can call as inclinations, I incline myself towards a certain way in which I think and I act. He says, this is coming from Prakriti. सबकी प्रकृति है, सबकी प्रकृति एक जैसी है, सदृशम. It will work in the same way. Our own natures may be different, cheshtas are different, but to everyone it comes from their prakriti. Prakritim yanti bhutani. All the beings follow their own nature. All beings have their own nature. Nigraha kim karishyati. What will a forceful restraint of your nature do? This is a generalized meaning. We'll come to the specific meaning. So everyone, even a one who has knowledge, the important point here is the one without knowledge, जिसकी अविद्या है, जीव दृष्टि है, जीवत्वम है, और जिसके पास विद्या है, जो ज्ञानी है, जिसको ज्ञान है, दोनों का चेष्टा अपनी प्रकृति से है. Everyone, then he makes a generalized statement in the second line. Everyone is bound by their prakriti. Nigraha kim karishyati. That is the question. What will a restraint do? Of what use will be to अपने आप को रोक के रखना, अपनी प्रकृति का स्वभाव एक्सप्रेस ना करना? What will restraint do? What will control in that sense control do? Generalized. What is he saying? Sadrisham anurupam cheshtate. Anurupa, according to your own. Sadrisham means according to. उसके अनुरूप. चेष्टताम करोति. अपने अपने सदृशम चेष्टताम चेष्टा करोति. Then he asks, according to what? Swasyaha, one's own, swakiyayaha, prakritehe, one's own nature, one's own prakriti. Means अपने nature से हम सब अपनी अपनी चेष्टा करते हैं. Simple meaning. We, in English you will say, we act according to our nature. We think according to our nature. And if you look into it from a deeper standpoint, then हमारी inclinations, हमारा स्वाभाविक वृत्तियां हमारी प्रकृति के अनुरूप है. They follow, they are emergence of our own prakriti. Prakriti hi nama, what is prakriti now? Here he is specifying it. The entire gunas that you have today, how did you get these gunas? We are all different individuals, and why? Because our composition of our gunas is different. And There is such subtlety of that differences that there are no two people with the same gunas. Even though we say there are only three gunas, but despite that, those three gunas, the subtlety of between the proportion of the gunas is so fine. It's almost like fingerprints. I always say it is like fingerprints. Every human being has a unique fingerprint. How fascinating. मतलब ये भगवान ने क्या, what is this? Did he know that we'll have a lot of legal issues, that we need a separate fingerprint for all our paperwork? Where does this come from? Separate fingerprints is, it fascinates me till today. I haven't been able to understand. I haven't researched for many years, but I still, it fascinates me. How come we all have unique fingerprints? And from fingerprints, we can trace किस कौन है. Whereas our eyes function same, our ears function same, our stomachs function same, everything else functions same. Yet we have a unique fingerprint. That uniqueness that we have, where has it come from? He says, this prakriti hi, purvakrit, pehle kiya hua, dharma, adharma, adi samskaraha. Your samskars that you have acquired by your previously done. Dharma means following what is to be done. Adharma means flouting what is to be done. Doing what you want to do whenever you did not follow what is to be done, you did what was not to be done. ऐसे करके जो आपने संचित किया है अपने संस्कारों का, संचित means collected. Those collected sanskars of your purvakrit, pehle kiye hue, done before, of your dharma and adharma, actions that were righteous and unrighteous, which result in punyam and papam, collection of your punyam and papam, which is called sanchit karma. In one word. Again, it's going to end in 10 minutes. I think when it ends in 10 minutes, we'll have to end the class. So, that dharma, adharma, adi samskaraha, sanchit that you have collected, vartamana janmadau, abhivyaktaha. A small part of that sanchit collected samskar, vartamana, in the present, it has given you this janma. Adau means all this that will happen janma onwards. What are the Shadvikars? Janma till Mrityu. Whatever Vartamana in this Janma. You have Abhivyaktaha, you have manifested. What has manifested? Your Purva Krit Dharma Adharma Adi Samskaraha. From them has manifested. Abhivyakt hua hai Vyakti. जो अभिव्यक्त हुआ है वो व्यक्ति है. That is a person. That is called Prakriti over here. So that Sankhya Drishti Prakriti Gunas is generalized. Here in particular, Bhagwan is bringing it to our own specific nature. What is that nature? He says that composition of your Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, which is a generalized term, is uniquely your own acquired past karma phala, collected, out of which a certain part of it is manifested in this as this expression of life. Therefore, tasyaha sadrisham eva sarvaha jantuhu. That this is a law for all jantus. All jantus are born in the same way. All beings are born in the same way. Gyanvan api, even the one who has knowledge. Api cheshtate. They do their cheshta born from their own purvakrit dharma, adharma, adi samskaraha, which has given vartamana janma. In this cheshta is from their own past collection. And it is for everyone. Kim punaha murkhaha. Then again, who is this murkha then? Tasmat prakritim yanti anugachanti bhutani praninaha. He says, Madhusudanji will explain in more details, maybe later on. Means, so what about this murkha? Matlab, what will we talk about this murkha? Therefore, prakritam yanti anugachanti. They keep going according to their prakriti. All these beings, all these pranis. Nigraha means nishedha rupaha. Nahi karna, nahi karna. That's why we say when you have children and when they are very young, if you keep telling them, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, then you're not showing them what is to be done. You're just saying, don't do this. When you just say, don't do this and not show what is to be done, what have you brought into their life? What will emerge in their life?
Nothing is to be done.
Okay. What will grow in life? अपने मन में उनके क्या बनेगा? ये नहीं करना, क्या करना है डायरेक्ट नहीं किया. हाँ जी,
विवेक शक्ति नहीं.
ओके, विवेक शक्ति नहीं है. Who else said something else? iPad.
They won't learn what it means to put an effort to do something.
Right, they won't learn. Therefore, what will happen?
Sraddha and asuyaha.
All right, that is like really far off. But what will happen immediately? What will keep building up?
They'll keep following their prakritik, whatever.
Excellent.
They'll keep following.
Their prakritik bhav will go on growing. वो बलवान हो जाएगा और भी बलवान हो जाएगा because they do not know what is to be done. You have not directed them to do what is to be done, but what they are naturally doing, you are telling them not to do that. That will go on empowering itself because it will come out as another expression of their prakriti that will grow, balwan ho jayegi. So tasmat prakritim yanti anugachanti bhutani praninaha. Nigraha nishedha rupaha kim karishyati mama va anyasya va durnigraha prakritihi iti vakya sheshaha. He says, Kim Karishati, if you are going to tell them to stop, means someone says, don't do. Either I say or someone says, is what Bhagavan is saying. Mama va anyasya va. Even if I say, don't do this, means follow this. I can only say and leave it to you. If I do not let your natural inclination to follow, then you will be misled and your prakrit sabha will grow even further. Nigraha prakriti iti vakya sheshaha means it is very hard. Prakriti is very hard. Durnigraha मुश्किल से कंट्रोल में होती है, बहुत मुश्किल है. इनफैक्ट दुर्निग्रह, very difficult it is. Prakriti is difficult to control. Iti, in this manner, is the sentence to be completed. Means self-control is not easy. Self-control is difficult. Self-control to fir bhi hai. When someone else is controlling is what he's saying. When someone else will try and say do this or don't do this, that is not easily going to be followed because Prakriti is difficult to control. By हमसे ही मुश्किल है तो बाहर से कैसे होएगी? And that is why Vedic system, Vedic religion is different from all other religions. Why? Because very good. Yes. Because here we don't have do's and don'ts. We have only options and knowledge. If you do this, you will get this. If you do that, you will get that. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. Your choice. You make your own choice. If you have a prakritik swabhav of only bhog, you can only be told that bhog will take you to further and further samsara. If you want to follow, still after that, choice is yours. But if you have understood on being told that bhog will lead you to samsara, on your own you will start changing your own choices. That will in effect change your prakriti. So they will oppose the order by their very nature. Excellent. Very good. Okay. So again, the Madhusudan Saraswati of this verse has 2-3 little extra points that opens the verse, and we'll take that in the next class as a revision also of this particular verse. Okay, and this will be a very important verse. Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesha vyavasthita means how that Prakriti becomes Balavan is said in the 34th verse. Right? So we will end the class here. Anybody has a question?
So all Prakriti is all also another word is prarabs. So your gunas are all your.
Yeah. Not
We can use the word prarabs.
Prarabdha is a
Okay.
small part of it.
Okay.
Sanchit is your entire collected. From there comes a small part which is Prarabdha. Okay.
Didi, is the as you said, it's
Sorry,
Prakriti,
one minute. If this disconnects, it is going to disconnect in 1 minute. We'll just leave it disconnected. In our own minds, we'll do the Shanti mantra. Yeah, continue, Divya.
So Didi, can Prakriti, like, can your Prakriti behavior change?
Sorry?
Like,
Can-
or it's can your Prakriti behavior, like whatever जो संस्कार बस गए हैं, तो क्या वो change हो सकते हैं?
वही वो अब बता रहे हैं, होते हैं, धीरे धीरे होते हैं, हो सकते हैं, होते हैं नहीं, हो सकते हैं, possible है.
But there's a lot of effort for that.
So there'll be a persistent effort, and there'll be persistent effort in the right direction, and enough repetition for those who are listening, enough repetition for it to override the previous samskar. So it'll be that much. Okay. So we will just end the class. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaah go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Hari Om everyone. Hari Om.